New on Curiosity Stream.
I'm James Burke. I'm going to take you on a journey through time.
James Burke's visionary series returns, reimagined for our time.
Now, this is all uncharted territory.
The Washington Post hails Burke as one of the most intriguing minds in the Western world. The New York Times raves he careens from one great moment in history to another.
Where do we want to go from here?
Experience all new connections.
So what's the next connection?
With monthly, annual, and bundled plans, find the one that works for you at curiositystream.com.
Well,
Good morning. I guess it's afternoon for you. Are you in Mumbai today?
yes, I am. It's 5:30 right now.
How's it going this afternoon?
It's going pretty good so far.
Excellent. Yeah. So it's so great for you to join with me today. Just want to get caught up on everything and what you're doing these days and how the scene is over there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you are out with was this kind of a surprise to you with this single, Come a Little Closer? Were you just like, wow, I mean, I just can't believe this thing is just getting the amount of attention and the amount of hits that it's getting these days?
A little bit. It definitely surprised me. I mean, it's one thing when you show it to your friends for a little while and they think it's a good song. It's another thing when you see people like in the data actually tell you that people are actually listening to the song the whole way through and like what percentage is dropping off when. Like, it was and when you start seeing the comments coming, that's when you start really believing it.
Yeah, yeah. What a wonderful video. It's just been really lighting up YouTube. What was it like? What was it like just basically shooting that video and how did you do it and where did you do it?
So that video was actually so it's a fully animated video, right? I was talking to the animator and I was like, okay, fine. I always had an idea in my head that I was always thinking rooftop lounges or like what I saw the song being played at, like just that like relaxed lounge vibe. And he's like, okay, I can work with rooftops. And I've got this idea of giving it like this soaring feel across the city. So
Yeah.
like, it sounds interesting. Let's give it a shot. And the animator was really good. So I spoke to him. He's actually based out of Colombia.
Yeah.
And
It's really
he knocked he knocked it out of the park really. He got the concept, got the vibe, and I was just like, oh my god, this works so well.
yeah. It must have been really just surprising to see that and to see how the animator put this together. It's just very, very 3D like.
It did. There's like my favorite like shots in the video. Like, I mean, I love the entire thing, but my favorite parts are like when the first chorus is hitting and how you're like, it's a night shot where you start seeing all the buildings light up and you're like soaring up to the top. And then you can see the entire skyline of the city. Like, that's the moment when I remember seeing that the first time, like, okay, I'm getting goosebumps. I'm sure there's something going right here.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's goosebumps. It really is. This whole single has been described as, basically a lightning in a bottle. Did you really feel that way?
I'm starting to feel that right now.
Yeah.
Starting to.
Yeah, over 1 million views. Where can we find this if somebody was just to stumble on this and just want to look this up on YouTube?
Just type in Avarin, Avarin, or Come a Little Closer. I mean, there are a couple of other songs. I think Cage the Elephant's got another title like that.
Right.
But you should see mine out there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's just really fascinating to see that kind of thing. You really wish I, could put like 3D glasses on and these lyrics just start coming at you. So the construction of this song, how did that hit you?
It's one of those things where like the guitar riff hit first. The guitar riff always hits first in my case. Like I'm a guitar player through and through. It's the first love. It's the reason why like I took music to where I'm at today. And it is also the reason where excuse me 1 second. So everything's born on the guitar for me. Once I had that into place, I had like the first two lines in my place. I was like, okay, fine. I see you standing over there, red dress, long black hair, and I was just remembering someone who I thought of in like a lounge, like And songs really, if you think about the lyrics, it's really just like just being in your head. So, and that was the main point. So every time this chorus comes up, so like the should I, so should I, it's like that muffled voice. I really want to make sure that you feel like you're inside. So, and that's just like, I feel the back and forth that you have with yourself, right? Should I be doing this? Should I not be doing this? Should I? Shouldn't I?
Yeah, yeah. It is. It's like a big party anthem. You're basically just like, it feels so inclusive. So many people just feel like, yeah, I really relate to this. It's just
Yeah, it has that like relaxed, loungy feel where like everyone kind of like vibes to it really nicely. So I always really like that about it.
So how did
Uh,
these lyrics strike you? I mean, when if something like hits you in the head, did you just like quickly go and write it down, you put it in your on your phone? How did
uh,
you write this?
Definitely. Like, so I'm someone who thinks of the concept first, so I'll have that in my head, write a couple lyrics, and then I like fleshing it out with my main producer. We both will be like, he'd be like, okay, fine, this is good, this is not, this is what needs to be like, the story has to like, just making sure it's more like refined and condensed, where someone's actually like hearing what they need to. Just give me 1 second. I think someone's at the door.
Oh,
Right.
sure. And I always like to do a little filler in here because if somebody's
Sorry.
walking to the door now, and we're gonna just keep rolling here as we go along. We're always getting prepared for whatever can come our way during these. We use Zoom here, but any of these kind of meeting type pieces of software. So this is morning for me, and afternoon in Mumbai, where we are talking with a YouTube sensation here. He's already gotten over 1 million views for this single called Come a Little Closer, which is definitely lighting up the internet, as they say. It's a very good guitar-based song that really it's really a very fascinating video that I totally recommend. It's got a good 3D vibe with the video, and
Sorry.
very well done. Yes.
Just give me.
Did you get a delivery? Is it almost about dinner time now?
It's a delivery. It's a delivery. Just waiting for what do you call? I just need to send him a code, but that's not come through. Anyways, whenever that does.
Yeah, this is how we live these days, and how we've been living through this pandemic. I mean, next door, I got like so many people coming in and delivering packages. Amazon Prime is pretty big over here.
I
Yeah.
know, right? Like, no one goes anymore to buy anything unless it's like, okay, I want to step outside and I want to step out and then maybe check it out. But there's a browser because you still go online to check, right?
I picture you being in Mumbai. It's probably pretty tight quarters there. Are you in a high-rise type building?
I'm in a higher school. Yeah,
Yeah.
the view is actually beautiful. I can actually right now the curtains are shut, but I can actually turn you around and show you the view if you'd like.
Yeah.
That'd
I
actually be
do
fun.
I do have
This is
this on
my.
YouTube as well, so people can see things. But yeah.
Oh, this is going on YouTube as well.
Yeah, I don't get as many. I don't really concentrate too much on having my episodes on YouTube, but it's there, just another outlet. But for podcasts, you kind of take it with you. You could listen to these conversations on a train or do whatever you when you're running or biking or whatnot.
Sure.
But
All right, let's see if we can do this. Let me turn you around and see how this looks. Let's see if the camera catches
it's
everything.
interesting. Yeah, I'm truly global here.
You can see. I'm not sure if you can see that. There's the water, or is the light just like destroying everything?
Okay, so no, what body of water is that? Do you have a river that runs through
That's the
town?
Arabian Ocean right there. The
Oh,
Arabian Sea.
oh wow.
Yeah, that's that. I'm not sure if you can see from here, but that's the bay actually in the distance. It's a bay, so it curves inwards and then like comes around. So it's actually a really beautiful view. But I think the light might be a little too much right now.
That's really neat. I mean, it inspires you to make music. That's for sure.
It does. It's peaceful.
Yeah, that really is. It's interesting because I am truly global. I'll talk to anybody all over the world. This is great to have this technology. So it's like I'm always interested. It's like that's very, very cool. So how is everything being received over in India? Do you play live? Do you go to coffee houses? How does that work for you over there?
I've done a bunch of like smaller shows and indie shows over here in India. I've not really tried to go on tour in a big way and like set that whole thing up. But that's what I'm planning for next. But as far as India goes, I mean, we just got out of the pandemic pretty much right now. Masks have finally come off and events are finally there. So I might do maybe a couple of shows just before I go on the road abroad. But my next goal is hitting the UK.
Good, good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because I'm sure you have a strategy is like, how do I get beyond my home country and really go completely, totally global? I'm sure that's a very big goal.
definitely. I feel like my music kind of has in any case got like a international kind of a feel to it. So I kind of just want to take it with me everywhere I can, and like wherever I feel like the audience is listening.
Oh, absolutely. I think it should do very well in the UK. They're definitely where you do break a lot of ground over there, I'm sure.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. So being over there, how's it coming together as far as doing work beyond the single that's lighting up YouTube?
Well, I've got about maybe like 7 or 9 songs. So I've essentially got like an album's worth of music.
Oh,
It's
cool.
just a question of like, am I gonna like really release it as an EP over time, or am I gonna go right for it as a full blown album? That's something I'm still like debating as to like, on the strength of the songs. I do believe they're very strong songs. I know they'll all come out one fine day. It's just a question: as my first body of work, will that be viewed as that or a full length album? So I'm still debating on that right now.
Yeah, these days, I mean, so many people are just doing singles and really we're
Yeah,
just pushing. We're kind of going back to that before the whole album concept took off in the mid to late 1960s. Was the single. Here's Elvis with the new single. But now I think we're going back to that just simply because of the format and people's attention spans and the way you have to compete on all the services like Spotify.
yeah, yeah. No, for sure. It's true. We are definitely a singles market, like almost releasing. I mean, that's the luxury you get, right? But like at this, so I've already shot like 2 more music videos, for my next 2 singles. So those are good and ready to go. It's just a question of like, now do I want to shoot more music videos, and do I feel that would be overkill, or do I just want to do like lighter videos, like just like another lyric video or something more relaxed?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be the person with like 9 music videos in a record either.
Right.
That
Right.
yeah.
I'm
I'm
sure
not
like,
saying,
you want to like actually have, your image and your face. So the lyric videos are great because, the animator's doing everything. So,
yeah.
no, who is
Um,
the animator? This is a real genius who works on this. I totally appreciate that kind of work.
Definitely, yeah, no. So he's someone I met through Fiverr actually, and let me just pull up his name. It's his handle. One second.
Always give credit where credit is due. It's just really fascinating to see that kind of work. Animation is just, it's a really good skill too.
Of
So
course.
many people.
Yeah. So his name is Serson. I'm sure I'm
Okay.
butchering it. Serson. I'm sorry if you ever hear this and I'm butchering your name. My bad. uh, so Serson, Serson. That's his name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just, totally appreciate that and that kind of thing. But yeah, it's like people want to see your face though. They want to see you performing and then you're developing that image. Back in the day when like an album would come out, you got to have your mug on that front page on the cover. So that's
Yeah,
pretty
here
cool.
I kind of I also kind of wanted to be like a little more like who is this guy kind of a vibe with the first single. I kind of wanted to like just let the music do the talking, and then like so the next couple of singles do that. But then the people I was looking at were like, okay, fine, enough time spent with like a cool logo on YouTube trying to throw your face there at least, and on your Instagram and Facebook. You can't be sitting behind a logo the whole time anymore.
Yeah. So the song "Come a
Yeah.
Little Closer" is this about somebody that people around or is it just basically it could be about anybody?
It's about someone who I met. She is basically like, I mean, she's essentially an heiress. I met her like
Oh,
in a lounge once in a nightclub. And like, I remember the story of like, just seeing her. I got introduced to her, and I remember like, I just remember seeing a lot of people like hovering around her. And I just thought
oh,
like, okay, this is not something you see very often.
right.
So like, do I go up, say hey? Do I not go up and do this? Do I do this or not? And it's basically describing that.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, we don't meet heiresses every day.
you don't. So it was very interesting from that angle. So and eventually, I mean, you go up and like you kind of like go do your thing, but like it was funny. That thought in my head was like pretty vivid for a while. It was like I don't get a thought like this very often.
I like the name checking in a lot of songs. I'm going to be talking to some rappers in about a week, and I love the name checks. Versace gets a name check in here. That must have been that looks so good on you.
Yeah, definitely, right? and and then that's what I liked about the song also. It was just like, it was so easy to come up with the lyrics for the song. This is one of the ones that just like I think within maybe an hour we had everything ready. Like, cause it was just literally describing the scene in the spot. I think we get like it's a little more sidetracked when you're trying to define an emotion without a stronger image when you're trying to write a song that way. Those
Sure.
are the songs that generally end up like taking longer, I feel.
Yeah, because it's so personal too, and you
Yeah,
got to write what you know.
exactly. Those are the ones that just like, okay, fine. Know what I'm saying, know the image, very vivid in my mind, done. Really easy to do that one. Yeah.
So you grew up in the area there. When did
I did.
music first start striking you? It started doing piano when you were very young, around 6 years old.
Yeah, so my mother put me up for like piano lessons when I was a kid. She sent me to she sent me to a really good piano teacher, and I really liked it. I had a good aptitude towards it. But with time, I wanted to learn the songs I really liked, right? And this was primarily classically oriented. It was all about the Trinity exams and like the grades 1 through 8 and the LTC and all that good stuff. And I just like wanted to like learn songs which I loved and wanted to play more blues music. So like I remember learning blues piano, like a couple of songs here and there, but there obviously isn't that much in the classical world as you can imagine.
Sure. Yeah.
So yeah, so it like I kind of just like I stuck with it, but I definitely started losing interest. And I think my teacher kind of saw that as well. So she's like, okay, fine. Do you want to stick with this or not? I'm like, I kind of do, but I kind of don't. And she's like, okay, what do you want to stick with? She's like, guitar. She was actually encouraging about it. She was like, you know what? I get it. If your head's there and your heart's there, go for it.
Yeah.
So she was really awesome about that. She also was dealing with like I guess like a 13 or 14-year-old. So I was like, okay, fine, go do your thing.
She tried. It's funny because it happens here a lot in the States too. Kids will be, kind of feel like they're being forced into playing piano, and they're trying to
Yeah,
really learn how to read. And a lot of people don't know how to read music. Did you ever get into that?
I did. Surprisingly, like I kind of enjoyed that part actually a little bit. Um, that part I
Huh.
kind of enjoyed. I kind of um, um, yeah, like I remember like when I was rusty and I picked up the piano even years later, like the first thing I do just to get back in the flow of reading music. But this is like so the wrong way to go about it because I remember my teacher gets so angry. I just take a pen and go on the sheet and write out each note in the right hand and each note on the left hand. And I just like write that down by my own system and the rhythm I just like remember, like hear the piece and be like, okay, fine, let's go back to that way. So
Yeah, that's really amazing. Because either some people just like absolutely love writing music, and others, I mean, so many people I've spoken with, they just don't care to even try to learn how to write music, read it, and just completely just stay away from it. And the tunes, they just like they derive off of what's out there. So, who did you enjoy growing up and listening to?
I'd say so. My brother's actually 10 years older than me. He turned me on to a lot of the Guns N' Roses records as a kid.
Hmm.
So that was actually a really funny reaction because like that I knew I loved the songs. I had no idea what these guys look like.
That's really amazing. Yeah, I'm always fascinated to hear like, yeah, Guns N' Roses does well overseas, especially in places like India. I'm like, how does that even? Because it's so universal. I mean, it's the music,
It,
it's the rhythm.
it truly is universal music. It hits hard. So I've actually seen Slash play in India as well as in the US. So I've seen him play at my time in college in Atlanta. I just saw him play in LA, and I've seen him in India as well. And I've seen Guns N' Roses in Nashville when they reunited. So been a big fan, obviously.
Oh, wow. So
But
how much have you
it,
traveled growing up and been to the States a lot?
a lot. I've got a lot of family in the US. So my mother's brother is over there. So she's there, and my brother, who basically We've got a lot of family on my mom's side over there. I'd say there's like at least like 40 to 50 people, I want to say. And then like maybe a couple of brothers on my dad's side as well. And my own brother moved over there as well. He got into do the entire, he went into finance though. So obviously two very different paths.
That is way different, but it's nice to have somebody in the family who's good at finance because, yeah, as being in the music industry, you really
Yeah.
do have to watch it as as you gain your resources and hopefully fame and all of that. But yeah, it's nice to have somebody who really
Yeah.
knows about that.
Lucky Land Casino asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Definitely, definitely. It's a go-to, right? Like for any time, like it helps. It definitely does. Any financial any financial queries, just go to my guy. Go to him.
Yeah, totally. Because it's just so different. I mean, you got your right brain and left brain, and the creative side versus the that very logical. So they're always, they're so vastly different. So you could have one sibling who's great at that stuff, math and all that stuff, and somebody who's good at reading and into the arts.
Definitely. No, he's an awesome. He's the best.
Oh, must be. That's great. Yeah, it's great to have family all over and people who could be there when you're traveling. So you have a strategy for coming into the US and playing here and trying to gain more of an audience here?
Definitely. So I think like I'm gonna be targeting like LA next year and like the whole of US. I feel like I'll be ending up like looking to tour in a big way next year. Or at least get my feet wet and like go for it in the US. But so I want to like target the UK this year, maybe in a bit more of Europe actually, if like time permits and the schedule works out. So I feel like once I get done with this side, I'll definitely move on towards the US next.
That's right. And I'm here in the great city of Atlanta, Georgia. I believe you
Oh, no
spent
way.
some time here. Yeah.
I was at Emory. Yeah, I love Atlanta.
Yeah, and a great place to break in here too, and to spotlight your music. Have you ever been to a place called Eddie's Attic?
Yes, I heard a lot about that. John Mayer made that place extremely famous over time.
Yes, I've seen a lot of acts there. I've done some work there too with some artists, and great community here. So, what made you come to Emory and you studied economics there?
I did. I just like, I don't know. I mean, I was actually in Philly, actually, believe it or not, before that for like a year. I was the kid that in high school basically like decided to play guitar instead of regularly like study. So, and my family's very academically oriented. So I was like in college, I'm like, okay, fine. I was doing pretty well. They're like, I was getting a few offers here and there from other colleges to transfer. And, my parents were just like, why don't you give it a shot? So I got into Emory and I had a friend over there who was like, dude, you're going to love it here. Plus, I'm not a fan of the winter. I definitely like do not like snow. So getting snowed in a couple of times, living through 2 winters was like, okay, fine. You know what? This makes sense. Let's give it a shot. And so weather played a big role in that. But it was a great school. I mean, I love my time both in Drexel and in Emory. I love both places.
Yeah, fantastic school. That's so, I mean, it's very hard to get into and to really stay there and to get your degree. It's amazing.
I feel like, to your point, right? Like, how you said like a lot of people get pressured when they're learning music. I kind of felt like I did a lot better in the college system for the same reason, right? Like the teachers kind of give you your material and aren't really like on your head, like being like with the pressure, and like your parents aren't around you, obviously, right? So I felt like it was just easier for me to thrive. And I felt it was the same with the guitar. Like I never really took formal lessons for a long period of time. I'd take like a course here, or I'd look at a lot of YouTube videos, but I think when that pressure kind of goes off, you kind of really like, that's when your best work comes off, right? Because it's really like, what do I want to work on with this instrument rather than what does he want me to do?
Yeah. How
You
is
know?
it going from like keyboard to guitar and back? I've also found that very fascinating how you can do both. Is there a lot of similarity between these instruments and your learning curve?
I'll tell you one thing. The guitar initially has got like a pretty steep learning curve compared to the piano. Because the
Really?
piano, you can sound musical within a day, honestly. Within a couple of days, like you can like at least get some rhythm and be like, okay, this sounds like this. With the guitar, that process is kind of like maybe between like a month to like 6 months before your hands start feeling some degree of comfort. So sharp learning curve. But then I'd say like then over time though, I'll notice that the piano's difficulty, the guitar's difficulty in terms of like just how the notes are spaced. Like once you learn one key really well, it transposes very nicely to other keys. Whereas with the piano, each key is its own dimension. So I'd say they both have like different views, but I'd say it helped a little bit, but I wouldn't say it helped all that much. I think that it's like literally like, okay, fine, you're on this planet and now you're on this planet. Like it's not fair to say they're the same. They both are
Yeah.
planets.
Yeah, that's really, so when you're constructing a song, so obviously you're starting with guitar. Do you
Yeah.
have like an earworm, just start playing with chords when you're starting to build a song like that?
Um, kind of. I actually don't know. I'll generally just be messing around. Very rarely is it a situation where like I've gotten something in my head before I come to the guitar. Generally it's like I'm playing around and I'm like, okay, this works. This sounds really good to my ears. And then it's like, okay, wait, I can combine this with this imagery with this kind of works really well together in my mind. So, but I've never, maybe a couple of times, but not that, I wouldn't call that the norm, but I've got something in my ear before I go to the guitar.
Yeah. What was the first song that you basically constructed? Did you, how old, young were you when you came up with something?
Oh God. I think with the guitar within a year, I think I started writing my own songs. Um, they weren't very good songs though.
Yeah,
They were
it
songs.
always starts out that way, doesn't it?
Yeah. You go back and like I'm glad I kept some of those lyrics on the sheets at least, and I kind of remember them. But I go back and it's like cringe central right there. It's like, okay, and let's make sure the world does not see this. that stuff will get hidden. Um, you know.
That's true. It's like, no, nobody says this is going under lock and key, but when you
Yeah.
get way up there many years down the line, that becomes worth something. That's
I still hide that away. I'll burn that paper at that point, just like
right.
or like
Right.
dash it somewhere no one's ever seeing it but me.
So aside from Slash and following Guns N' Roses, you got into blues quite early.
Yeah.
How did you stumble upon that? Was that something you just you learned from your elders there, or just you found through friends or on your own?
I mean, I'd say like it was a lot of the like Led Zeppelin records and like the Doors kind of bluesy stuff that like hit
Mm.
me. And even Pink Floyd, I mean, for as like psychedelic space rock, or I even give them like that sound is a really strong blues foundation. It really is. Especially David Gilmour's playing. Like you could supplement him, like if you took off all the effects and you just let him play your 12 bars and like you use the same stuff, like it sounds great over that stuff.
Mm.
It really does. So it like translated into that. And then obviously like you hear like someone like Stevie Ray Vaughan and Eddie Van Halen where like you just have like these hands with like raw strength and power behind it. It just hits so hard, right?
Mm.
And that's what's fascinating to me about those guitar players. Um, like I mean, Stevie Ray Vaughan had like I think he used to like hit it the hardest I think of everyone, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, is he fascinating? I saw him when I was in college.
No way.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. How was that?
Oh, insane. I mean, I couldn't even imagine if I was really into guitar at that time. I would be like completely like, oh my God, I'm watching my God here. But yeah,
Yeah,
oh my gosh. Yeah.
it's fireworks, right? It's literally just like
Yeah.
this. His hands just like take off like a rocket, honestly.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. Guy from Texas and Fabulous Thunderbirds opened up for him. And what a show that was. Yeah. It was early 1986. So
I'm so
yeah.
jealous. I'm so jealous.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. Priceless. But there are a lot of people I didn't get to see that I really probably could have had the opportunity. I wish I could have seen Eddie Van Halen. That's just another gifted one.
Yes, no, he was amazing. I got a chance to see him actually in a class. I saw him in 2012 when he was doing, I'm forgetting the name, 2011 or 2012, I can't remember. But yeah, no, he was amazing as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Just, another gift. And it seems they make it look so easy. And
They really did.
I really do think it comes down to you become really good at something like guitar because you practice. It's, that's where the muscle, the elbow grease goes into practicing.
Yeah,
Totally
no, for
does.
sure.
So, do you do a lot of that? Are you doing a lot of practicing or do you noodle around quite a bit?
I noodle around. I mean, I practice, I play. You can call it whatever you want. But I definitely really like sitting with the instrument. Like I can sit and like happily like just like spend like 3 4 hours in a day like without thinking. And it's like okay, there's my time end.
Mm.
And like at some points it's like, am I working on something? And I like just like automatically just like go between like working on something, play music I like, try figuring out some music I really like. So but that's what I like about it, right? There's not, but every time I come to the instrument, I don't necessarily know what I'm going to work on, and maybe I'm working on everything at the same time because I'm bored of working on this. I'll just quickly switch to this and then switch back to working on the thing.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's like I'm working on right now I'm working on like a couple of pieces from like Appetite for Destruction, Mr. Brownstone actually. So yeah, I'll go from that, and then like when I like, there's only so much that you can just keep taking in, like where you're just like, okay, if I need a break, and you just noodle off for a while, and then like you, and sometimes I actually end up writing some cool stuff in the middle of like learning songs. So I always find that really important. Like the more I always like keep like sitting with like music I really like and enjoy learning, like something about that headspace will like translate into some of my music I'm writing somewhere.
Yeah.
So
It works
it,
out.
it's always a good space to be. Like I love learning like all my favorite songs from my heroes, honestly.
Oh, totally. Totally. That's really cool. So after Emory, you went to Nashville. How long were you in Nashville?
I was there for maybe about like 5 or 6 months, just about six. Where it was just like a process of like, yeah, just going there to figure out music at that point.
Hmm.
It
Yeah.
was because at some point I think you kind of just get to this position where you're like, you know what, I'm gonna dive into this. And one way or another, I'm just gonna figure it out. And it was a very interesting experience because I went through a lot of different producers and a lot of different people until I found someone who really got me. And that's when you also realize like, okay, I've got a lot of work to do in terms of my
Mhm.
timing, in terms of my touch, in terms of my feel. Like it's one thing to have a certain amount of dexterity and know some songs and have like some ability, but it's a whole other league when you realize you're really humbled when you realize how good everyone is in Nashville in the live scene. It's very humbling, but it makes you want to get there.
Yeah, what a
It,
great music community. You wouldn't think, oh yeah, a city in Tennessee of all places, but wow, you have so much talent there. It's what a great supportive community too. It's not like as harsher as New York or Los Angeles. It's a good
no,
place.
the talent level is like through the roof. Honestly, like I think I've seen some of the greatest guitar players. I think all are just sitting there, like like, and they're just like, and then you'll even see some of them on like gigs just all around the city because every night I'm guessing there are there must be at least 30 shows going on every night in Nashville, at least.
Yeah,
And
never a
I'm probably
shortage.
sure I won't be surprised if someone tells me that number is over 100.
Yeah, insane. That's crazy. So after
Yeah.
Nashville, where did you go to after Nashville?
After Nashville, I went to LA and then I had to come back because of obviously COVID 2020 hit.
Oh, yes.
Uh, yeah, so came back, was just working on more music and more music. And then I just got back to LA. Well, not back in India, but I was there for like the last 4 months. I shot a bunch of music videos. I released Come a Little Closer and like just trying to build into like the next steps and the next step with what we're doing really right now.
Good, good. So you're just caught between, okay, am I going to do an EP here, an LP, a thematic kind of thing, or just basically just singles? So that's a tough, it could be kind of a tough choice as to how you
Yeah.
want that trajectory to go.
I mean, it also depends on how well the other two singles go, right? If there's like, if they get a reaction like this and like take off and go even bigger and bigger, like, who knows what we could be looking at. But it's definitely interesting right now.
So are you getting more into producing as well? Because that's something that's kind of part of your repertoire too, is that's you're, obviously very talented with performing and everything. Are you getting into the engineering and the producing end of this?
I mess around with it. Like, I mean, I've got my own like little mini studio set up, like just like, the controller, my DAW hooked up, and I'll mess around with like synthesizers here and there. But I leave that honestly to like pros at that point where it's like, okay, I trust this one with their sound, and like then we'll work like I work on producing with my main producer, and then like once we've got like a good idea for like what the song looks like, we will then send it off to like one or two producers to like come back with it and then put their spin on it, and then we'll like hash that out, put that together, and send it to a mix guy, and that's how we get our songs.
Yeah, you do. You have to trust the others. It's hard to like, you can do that these days with the technology. You can wear several hats and
Yeah,
basically do it all yourself. But that's really tough. It really
it
is.
is, and it also comes down to a question of like like I mean, I really trust my producer and after like me and him have a great thing going down. He gets me completely. He knows my vibe. He's been very instrumental about like making sure like like how we work together and like what kind of sound we're going for. He's been very instrumental about getting me and like my music all aligned up in the best way. So like the guys we've worked with on top of that, they really get the sound too. So it's so far been a great experience. Where and you always see that with the producers, right? Like you see like guys who get you and guys who don't. And it's very evident. It's very evident. Like I made songs with like a few other people, and it's just like, I mean, yeah, I like aspects of songs, but I won't say I really love that song.
That's really cool. That really
Yeah.
is. Yeah,
The
totally.
producer artist relationship, I'm not sure how much it gets spoken about, but it's extremely important.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
gosh. So in as far as like newer type music, what are you into now? I mean, you definitely like your David Gilmour, Jimmy Page, those kind of people. What's kind of fascinating you these days that's in top 40 and popular culture?
Right now, well, I do like Harry Styles and Dua Lipa a lot. Definitely like them. Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak, like, oh my God, Silk Sonic's that entire an evening with Silk Sonic, that was my favorite record. That was my favorite record of last year, easily.
Yeah, I was
And
wondering what Bruno Mars is up to these days. What an amazing talent.
he's amazing. He's
Hmm.
absolutely brilliant. I love that guy. Like he got me. I love listening to his stuff as well. Like he got me back into like pop in a big way, where I was just like, because I'd taken a break from like when I was a guitar player, I kind of never dove into pop for like the early 2000s, I want to say. And then when he came out 2010 onwards, like that's when I started drifting more and more towards pop. It was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Like his records really like were incredible.
Yeah, and a great live performer too. Really understands, how to work the audience. Definitely showed that at the Super Bowl. It was just yeah, he's really amazing.
Definitely. I mean, as a performer, like I saw him in Vegas actually, in December, and he's great about it. I love the fact that he locked all our phones up. He's like, tonight's just about the music. You want a
Mm.
photograph? You can take them outside of his
Yeah.
venue.
I always
So I
wonder
was really
about
glad he
that.
did
Yeah.
that. I was really glad he did that. I love the fact that he did.
Yeah. Yeah, some people, with the technology and everybody having their own phones and everything, they're like, they're paying attention too much to getting shots during the show and it's like not really like getting into it. So it's kind of sad, you're paying all that money to see the performer.
For sure. No, I get both sides, right? Because you want to capture that that image, and keep that as something, capture that energy into your phone, and you want to keep that on. So I get that aspect of it, but you see it at his show, when he was there. Not only was he brilliant as a performer, but you could feel the energy in the room. The entire audience just got with it so much more, and it was so much more immersive.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
Well, very good. Well, thank you so much for your time. I hope to see you at Eddie's Attic one day, maybe. You could do a nice acoustic show there.
Yeah, for sure. No, I'd love to swing by. I'll keep you posted on that.
Yeah, I really do. And I'm really excited. More videos hopefully in the future. And where can we find all your music and your website, your socials? How do we find you?
Right now, you'll find my Instagram. If you type in Avarin on YouTube, you should find me pretty easily. On Spotify as well. Instagram, my handle is avarin.music. So you'll start seeing a lot more stuff pop up on that over time. You're going to see a lot more things get a lot busier. But avarin.music on Instagram is the best way to see what's happening.
Neat. Well, thank you so much for your time.
No, thank you. It was great.
Best wishes. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Okay, round 2. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.